Today's update is all about making the game feel closer to Boost Fury. We didn't just add one feature, we improved a lot of small systems that make the character feel more alive, more reactive, and more accurate to the original Game Boy Advance style. For now, everything is still focused on Vegito, because I want to build a strong base with one character first before expanding to the others. One of the first small details I added is the idle blink animation. When the character stands still, the sprite now feels less static. It is a very small detail, but this kind of things matters a lot if you want the game to feel alive and closer to Boost Fury. I also reworked the sprite cutting to get something closer to the original Boost Fury look. That means cleaner slices, more accurate animations frame, and better alignment overall. It sounds technical, but visually it makes a huge difference. Then I added the double tap run system. If I quickly tap a direction twice, the character starts running. Just like Boost Fury. This is important because movement in these games is not just walking faster. It has its own feel. That feel comes from timing, animations, and control responsiveness. Then, after everything, I reorganized the project structure in Godot to prepare for future playable characters. The idea is now to stop hard-coding everything around one player setup and instead build a system that can support multiple characters, each with their own sprites, attacks, values, and later their own progressions. Even though the structure is now prepared for multiple characters, for the moment I am still building everything around Vegito. This is intentional. I would rather finish one complete playable character properly than rush into 5 incomplete ones. After that I also added 2 animations, one with the punch and one with kick. It's fully randomized. Now it's really starting to look like Boost Fury. Another important addition is attack switching. Instead of locking the character into one special attack, I now have a system that allows switching between attacks. This is a big step because it moves the game closer to an actual character system rather than just one demo move. So in Godot here, we can add as much as attacks as we want into our character. For example, Vegito will need his Super Saiyan attack, his special attack, but for now we can work like this. And for Vegito, I now have his beam style attack working. It charger first, it drains ki over time, and visually I already feel much closer to what I wanted. This attack took a lot of iteration because I wanted the beam behavior to hit detections and the presentation to feel right. And of course, if you have no more ki, you can't shoot anymore. I also added hurt animations. Now when the player takes damage, it's not just a number change, the character actually reacts with a dedicated hurt animation, which makes the combat much easier to read. And also, the beam also recognizes enemy hitboxes properly now, so instead of just visually passing through things, it now interacts with enemies correctly. This is a huge step because special attacks need to feel solid, not fake. And I also added floating damages. Now when the enemy takes damage, the game gives immediate feedback on screen. It's still temporary for now because the damage system is not fully state-based yet, but the visual feedback is finally here. At the moment, damage is still placeholder damage. That means the game is still showing fixed values instead of calculating damage from character stats. So visually it now looks much closer to Boost Fury, but the next big step is to make stats actually matter. I also started building the status menu. Right now, it's mostly focused on the visual base and the layout. The goal is to get to a point where the menu controls real values like HP, key power, speed, and character specific differences. So the next major update is going to be about the actual stat system. That means HP key, power, speed, damage scaling, and eventually character specific strengths and weaknesses. For example, one character should move faster, one other should have more ki, another should hit harder, and beam uses should depend on the character's real values. That is the point where this project stops being just animations and attack tests. It starts becoming a real Boost Fury style RPG combat system. So that's the current progress. A lot of this update is about polish, structure, and making the project ready for the bigger systems that come next. Which though it's still the test character, but the foundation is getting stronger with every update. So the next step, it will be the menu.